Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about a man named Sean. Sean is a very, very charming man. Very charming. And he's a nice looking man, charming, and keeps himself very fit. And he has, to the outside world, he's just a good, kind of decent man. But he's not. Okay, now he is in his 50s, and he is a seller. He runs a, you can call him not really a booth, but a place out in the they call them the barns in the Richardson County. You know, people can rent whatever size they want, and they sell whatever it is that they sell, as long as it's approved. And his is approved. His is furniture, hand-carved, furniture that he states he carves, he does himself, wood. And he runs it out there, and it's a nice-sized one. Of course, it's furniture, and he does a pretty good living. But the thing about it is, none of the people who buy from him know that he is simply a seller. He doesn't do them himself. Okay, so he puts out that he is the one that hand carves them. Now, he's learned enough about how it's done and all that, but he doesn't do the physical work. Now, he does, the way besides selling it at the barns, it's in Festive, Texas, they often do festivals there too, but they also have, permanent ones that, people who sell there year-round. And he has that, but he also does videos about them. I need to get over. There's some flashing lights over here. Flashing lights, but I think it's a park place. Park and recreations. Anyway. Okay, I don't know why that guy's going down the road with his flashers on, and it's something for our parks or something. It was a hard thing with switching lanes. Real life happens in the middle of a video. But anyway, so Sean, he runs this. He's a seller, but like I said, none of the customers know that. And he does this kind of service. He usually winds up selling to women. He's very charming, and he charms them into buying. And he always says that he can, he kind of works his way. He knows how to do it. He's very manipulative, and he finds out whether they're married or single. And the single women, he'll say that that he will actually deliver it himself, and he does after hours. And he'll set it up for them, whatever it is, help them to place it in their home, and he does. But what they don't know is that he's basically scoping out their house and their lives, and he's learning about, where they got their previous furniture, who did that. These are very wealthy people he usually sells to also, and it's a very wealthy county for the most part. And he, however, he's not so much, but he's making a lot of money off of these women, mainly women. And he advertises on the two social media platforms that are for the county. He advertises on both of them. He makes videos. He because it's ads, he uses his real name for the ads. He has his own separate, for his own, that's not for his business, but separate. It's used a pseudonym. Anyway, he does videos. So at least once a week, showing the products that he still has on, he says that new products he's made, or, he just has a stock, and so he shows those. Very charming man, very popular too, especially with the ladies, okay, that kind of thing. And that's how he puts it. He's popular with the ladies. Now, like I said, he's very much, he's not only charming, but he's very, very flirtatious with these women. And usually he goes for older women, not older as in around his age. I will say they are around his age, but they're basically they're in midlife, okay, middle adulthood, and he charms them, and like I said, he actually has such an arrogance that that not really an arrogance. Well, I guess you could say that, but he has an attitude that he can charm any woman. That any woman. Okay, he can charm them. He knows how to charm them. That's with his friends. He's like that, but not, of course, to the women. Okay, so this is what he does. He does this for a living, and he makes a pretty good amount off of it. But he is not wealthy like most of the rest of the county, and they don't know where he lives. He doesn't disclose that kind of information. What he does is he gives his business card out, and he tells them to look at his videos. Okay, like I said, he doesn't disclose any information. He gives his phone number to some of them, some of the women. But as far as telling where he lives, no. And he says it's for his protection. And they said, well, I would love to go see your warehouse full of, because it's full of furniture, at his home or something like that. And he will refuse. He'll find, but he's very charming with it, and he talks them out of it. Some people kind of question him, about how he does stuff and everything. And he knows, if he doesn't really know the answer to how something is made or something like that, because he's not making them, but they think he is, he will charm them out of, he knows how to charm them out of not even, well, that's a good time to put on your blinker. He'll charm them out of really wanting to get the answer. He's manipulative like that. And so he winds up, knowing all these women. Now, sometimes on his videos, what he'll do is he'll say something like, especially if he's just charmed a particular woman, or maybe more than one, to buy something from him. What he does is he'll get online and he'll say something like, I just sold something to this really lovely, lovely woman, and then go on with that. Okay, now where was I? But basically, Sean is, a con man, kind of, in a way. He cons these women to buy, mainly women, like I said. And, he's just a seller, but like I said. But Sean gets a really big kick out of doing this. And he has been like this his whole life. Well, you can't say his whole life, but since he was young. And he learned how to be very charming and charm people, from like a teenager. And charm girls, teenage girls. And he just continued that on into his 50s. And he gets such a kick out of it. He gets a kick out of how he can just charm them, and they will disclose to him all kinds of things, tell him, and he knows how to do that, how to, like nobody's ever listened to them like that before. And he knows that's what he's doing. He's listening, but he's listening for a different reason than they think. He's not listening to get to know them, to, just let them talk about themselves. But he'll act like they're very interesting people, when really what he's listening for is a totally different thing, something selfish for him. But anyway, that's a whole separate story. But I thought I'd put this out there, and do you know this kind? It's just very charming, and it's a kicker. Not kicker, but it's a thing to me that some people think that if somebody's attractive, they're popular, they're seem so sweet, nice, and wonderful, and listen to them and all that. I have definitely learned. I'm not saying anybody's bad because they have not learned this in life. But overall, that kind that, if they're more, especially if they're popular, like online, popular, or whatever, but they're good looking, like I said, this is a combination, and charming and charismatic, and, seem to really know what they're talking about. Those are the ones to avoid. in my life, that's how I've seen it. I'm not saying it's 100% across the board, but that's been my experience in life. And Sean would be that kind. And Sean is a fictional character. These videos are part of a series of hypothetical fictional stories. Read the disclaimers in the description box below this video on YouTube, but they're rough drafts. Help me to see how the story sounds as far as and what would work, and keep a record of them, rough draft recording, and see what needs to be changed and be, doesn't fit right. Sometimes things don't fit right and they just change without notice. But if you want to subscribe to this channel on YouTube and find out more of what happens, but I give examples of different types of behaviors, different types of people, not really so much the focus on the behaviors, but the people, and good and bad and ugly, that kind of thing. But go ahead and subscribe, share, like, and I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.